78.6 FM. FM Yomatan. It is so wonderful to be back in the booth with you today. I'm really excited. This week it's amazing. We're looking outside right now. I was just talking to my friend here on the staff. It's a beautiful day in Okinawa, in Yomatan. It's clear skies, no clouds. The sun was perfect. It wasn't cooking you too much. It was just a nice beam from the sun. The wind chill is perfect. So, yeah, I'm just going to let you know I'm giving you 45 minutes. Then I'm about to go out there and explore because it looks amazing. Hey, to the 14,000 listeners, the daily listeners for FM Yomatan, I want to say thank you for your time, for being patient with me. I know that my English, and I try to slow it down for you every time I'm on here, but being patient, the feedback, the love and encouragement from those who listen in to Positive Vibes Radio Show, thank you so much. To the friends and family back home, thank you for the shout outs. Thank you for supporting the podcast. I know you can't be live with us and listen sometimes, but thank you for the support that you've been giving to the podcast. Still standing. You win some, you lose some. I'm excited, man. I start off every segment with definitely giving a shout out to everyone who supported the journey. Trainers Warehouse, Free Period Press, Youth Light, Remo. You got to make sure you remember the folks who pushed you. Mr. G, Mr. Scott Garricky, just making sure that every day I feel loved and appreciated, and I'm hopefully being an extension of the love that you've given me and trust that you've given me this past year. So, without further ado, this is my 44th birthday this week. Shout out to my team over at Kadena at the McDaniel Center. If you follow on Facebook, we've had some really cool adventures. We did the Stranger Things themed adventure last weekend where we went up to Iijima. So if you're looking at the pictures, I'll explain it a little bit, right? So we took a ferry from Okinawa to Iijima. Once we got to Iijima, we got the electric bikes, and we're just like little kids going around the island. And then we found a path that got us to the mountain. Now, I've been there many times, but with a crew and on bikes and getting to the mountain there in the peak, at the center, should I say, of Iijima was a whole different experience. And I had a blast. I'm going to tell you, age does not define you, right? So I felt so young, so loved, and had so much fun with the team. And to the young lady who made sure that we felt loved all week. I ain't going to put rank on it because she's a very special person to us. So, Belen Rico, thank you for the surprise party. Thank you for the decorations of our offices. Thank you for just being you. You're an amazing person. And I always joke and say this because I say it in a very sarcastic way when I see her, but I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You deserve nice things. You deserve the world. Whoever gets you and you leave our team is blessed, and I am so proud of you and excited for the chapter you have coming up as well. Thank you for making sure we feel loved, and hopefully we are showing love for you, and you feel the same way that we do about you. Hey, check this out, 78.6 FM, FM Yomatan, Positive Vibes with Winsome. What are you talking about today, Winsome? I had some really amazing opportunities to teach. We got 40 young men and women in a room. I don't know if I mentioned this last weekend, but we talked about leadership, followership, and mentorship. And I love asking those questions that nobody's ready for, right? I'm not the leadership guy. I'm not Franklin Covey or Stephen Covey. I'm not John Maxwell. I'm not going to push leadership. My journey and my goal, and in case you guys didn't know, if you're tuning in for the first time, is to encourage, inspire, and motivate. I'm not an influencer. I'm an encourager. I love people. So when I get a room full of people and I'm able to share anything that I've experienced, learned, overcome challenges that I'm trying to prevent you, save you from yourself type deal. But the feedback is everything. It's life. And to see everybody in that room just eyes on. And, I don't like anyone going in thinking they got to listen to me because I'm whatever the rank I am during the day. So I take the rank off and I say, hey, while you're in this room, you're family. And we're going to have a real conversation. And we're going to have I want some real discussions in here. I want you to feel like when you walk out the door, you can apply what you learned. Same thing I talk about on the radio. I want you to walk away thinking, I can apply what I learned. And so there's a quote. You guys can Google it and see where the source came from. The actual, I believe, from what I've read, the actual inspiration of this quote came from a Dr. King quote. But the quote that I shared with these young men and women was, if you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. So I'm going to say this again to you. And remember, I'm talking to a room full of younger men and women who are starting their journeys. And sometimes in these jobs, we're limited to our position or our rank, and we don't feel like we have a voice. We don't think that we can do because we are restricted based on our ranks and positions and situations. And sometimes roles, right, necessitates that. So I told them, I said, if you cannot do great things, Napoleon Hill, by the way, do small things in a great way. So one of the ones that really stuck with me this week, I loved it when and I always make sure that I give them something to think about when they walk away. And what I was telling them was, there's a lot of times that we doubt our own greatness. There's times that we doubt or we second guess the power that we have, the influence that we have, because we allow how we define ourselves based on our daily role to roll over into who we are. And I'm trying to tell you, that doesn't define who you are. When you walk in the door every single day, what energy are you bringing? And when I said door, remember, we got to talk about not just work, but home. We broke down every single aspect of person, self-awareness, self-care, self-worth, character, what respect looks like. What does a leader look like to you? And I loved you. You got like 20 different answers in this room. Nobody said the same person. I had somebody go spiritual, what a spiritual leader or a leader looked like to them was spiritual, right? You had someone else talk about the teacher I had when I was in the third grade. You had someone else mentioning, whoever. But the point was, they all had in their mind what a true leader of character, of power, and someone they respected, what that looked like. And I said, it's already in here. So what is it that person does that you want for you? How is it that person carries themselves that you want to do? And where do you go to get there? And this is not just a leader. We're just a leader in the household. This is a leader at home. This is a leader of your family. How do you get to be that person that people want to see? People want to talk to. People want to come to. So I didn't want to jump in and get real deep. Normally I throw the thumb ball around if I have a guest or I sit here and talk about things and keep it real light, but it's so important to talk about. You got to know who you are. And I can't say that enough, because every book, every topic, everything that's been important, and not just career-wise, but just if you go into these personal growth books right now, if you go into these books that talk about how to be a better person, how to take care of people, how to love, how to be just the best version of you, people miss that almost every one of them mentions the importance of self-awareness. If you miss that, if you haven't caught it, you'll understand that is why I foot stomp it so much. You got to know what your imprint is on this world. You got to know what your imprint is on the people that you see every single day. Another thing we talked about in the room was be careful who you follow. Whew, man, I think I remember watching people kind of sit up in their chair a little bit, right? Adjust a little bit when I said that. Hey, 100%. You have to be careful who you follow. We all hear these quotes and sayings and memes talking about, you show me your 5 friends, I'll show you who you are, your circle, who you bring yourself with. But let's rewind that. You got all these social media influencers out here right now. A lot of people doing goofy things just for attention. So imagine those are the people that you're giving your attention to. But what folks and the young folks in the room at the time didn't realize was, hey, do you guys understand what a rabbit hole is when it comes to what you click on? And so they were like, yeah, it's the algorithms. I said, but understand how the algorithm works. And the algorithm, the AI systems that are being created right now, they're smarter than ever. So if you hover over a link for more than a certain amount of time, It's going to give you similar things to pop up. And after a while, you're going to keep getting these things. You're not even going to realize that something else, another force, is controlling what you see, where your mind is framing. You got to think about this. Take it back. Not trying to be deep, just trying to be real. And this is the openness and honesty that I have with these young folks. I'm like, understand that when you hover, when you keep pushing those buttons, when you keep watching those goofy videos, guess what you just told the system? You like goofy. So let me give you more goofy, right? And think about when you start hovering over political stuff. Oh, you like politics. I'm going to give you a whole lot of that. Oh, you like conspiracy. I'm going to give you a whole lot of that. Don't trust it. Don't let these things take you down a rabbit hole that you don't intend to go on. And what does that mean? Well, look, man, I just scroll through. I spend a lot of time on social media. I do this and that. Yeah, but understanding what you're up against too. And if you're not self-aware, if you don't have that built into yourself already, if you don't know who you are as an individual, and you go in just scrolling aimlessly, just having fun, waking up, and that's what you open your mind to and open your world to, something else just framed the way you start your day. Or something else just framed the way you hit your midday. Or something else just framed the way you enter into your evening. I love you guys. So I'm going to tell you this again. Take your life back. Let's talk about the old man who was around before social media, before algorithms. I was the one that had to go to the library and find the book and do the research. Just what you can Google right now. We used to actually have to go somewhere and pull books out, open it, smell the fresh books and do some research. You can highlight in the library books, but, write down notes and take down information. One book led you to another. That book led you to another. It was all these pieces of scattered information. So I get it. I love what has happened and developed over time. It's amazing. It's beautiful. But then there's the other side of it. And I started with technology, right? About how hovering over something, clicking on something's going to take you down a rabbit hole, especially on YouTube. Think about what your YouTube views and things look like right now. Who are you following? What are you following? I talk about the technology side of it, but I want to bring it back to tell you about people. Who are you following? I have profiles out there on social media. I limit my social media. And one of my friends was teasing me yesterday because I block just as much as I accept invitations, right? Because my key is protecting my peace. I also told another friend a few days ago, I don't trust easy. So if you're tracking my journey, following my journey, and I have control of who's following specific aspects of my journey, I don't have to let everybody into that aspect of my life, my private life. Who gets to celebrate my birthday with me? Who knows what day it's on? Who gets to see what I'm doing on the weekend? Who gets to see what I enjoy the most? Who gets to see the highlights of my life? I control that. I don't have a public for everything. A lot of things are personal, and I choose. Now, one of those guys that I get motivated or I get that dopamine boost by how many people put a heart on it. I don't care if I have 5. It's something I choose to share. That's me. But the younger generation, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, my little brothers, little sisters, protect your peace. Be careful who you're following, not just what you're following, not just on social media, but when you open up those apps right now, remember there's a system, a computer that's watching you, that's tracking you, and that's feeding you information based on what it thinks it knows about you. Some people go down that rabbit hole because guess what? They really don't know who they are as a person. But I want to talk about the people you're following, which is what I focused in on with this young group. The people you're following. Who is that person that you're looking at and being like, you know what? I want some of that in my life. Who is that person that you're surrounding yourself with? Why do I keep putting myself through this every single week, every single day? What is going on? Right? Think about who you're following. And if you haven't thought about that and it's not been an issue before, I want to tell you and I want to remind you of the quotes we said earlier. You show me your 5 friends, I'll show you who you are. You become part of your circle because your circle is feeding into you. 78.6 FM Yomaton, positive vibes of Winston. I can't wait to continue this conversation with you as soon as we get back after this break. Dr. King, Napoleon Hill. If I cannot do small things, I can do, or if I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. If you cannot do great things, limited by your circumstances, limited by your environment, limited by your finances, limited by your role that you have to play, you can't do great things right now. You can do small things in a great way. I'm not on somebody's TV show in the United States right now, but I'm feeding life into anybody who needs it here, around me, in this area, this region, these people I care about, these folks that I love, that I'll stop time for if my door opens, that I will do anything if someone asks. That is something I know I can do because it's in me. What's in you? Hey, when we left, we talked about not just what you follow, becoming a victim of social media algorithm systems trying to tell you who you are. Hey, follow this, watch this, check this out. Hey, you like that, so you'll like this too. Hey, but also who you follow. I gave the young men and women in the room an example of those motivational speakers that be like, hey, there ain't no such thing as sleep. Billionaires don't sleep. Millionaires don't sleep. Sleep ain't a thing. Hey, let me tell you something, man. Because those are the sound bites, the memes, and the little pieces that you get when you're on these algorithms. But I'm going to tell you the reality behind it. There's a medical necessity to rest. I'm just going to tell you this. So watch and listen to what you follow. You can't go. Let me tell you, that was the burnout generation. That was a generation that felt like, hey, there's no time to stop because if I stop, somebody else is going to be going. That was the burnout generation. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. You have to focus on a path that's going to be the best for you, not just as a professionally, but personally. What's going to get you where you're trying to go, and understand sacrifices needed. Late nights might be required. You might have to build that in for studying, school, let's say family time, whatever you got to do, or just to reset, readjust. But you have to build in rest. How do you not build in rest, like real rest? And I'm not talking about if I get 2 hours in here, I can drink a caffeine drink in the morning, and I can, no. How do you build rest into your schedule? So after the class, we're talking about this. I'm just giving you a quick example of what kind of speakers you got out there trying to tell you how to live your life based on their success, but they don't tell you where they struggled and what actually got them to where they are now. They don't give you the little pieces. They just give you the highlights. Watch this. Had a young man come in. Young man can't be more than 23 years old. I love him. I told you guys about him a few weeks ago. He sat down as a follow-up. He says, hey, yeah, man, I just want to do more. I was like, man, that's awesome. What do you want to do? I don't know. I just have all this time, and I want to do more. I just felt it reminded me when I was a young stumper, run around and do a lot. Because I had so much in me, and I got it. I understood it. And I said, cool, man, break down your schedule for me. So he broke down his work schedule. Got it. Broke down his workout schedule. Got it. Broke down what his weekends would probably look like, wide open because he's on a new schedule. Got it. When are you resting? When are you self-reflecting? When are you doing something that really is truly something you love to do for you? I see your school schedule. I see when you're going to class. I see your work schedule. I see when you're going to work. I see your, what is the other one he had on there? I see your shift changes. I see all these things, or the gym times that you have as a goal. I see all these things that you have. But when are you doing something for you? When are you doing something you love? And where that takes me, not just a random question, where that takes me is, hey, listen to me. All of these things, I know you're young, you're trying to get promoted, you're trying to move, and you're doing these things for other people, but you're not showing me in your life right now, built in at this age, where you're doing something that you love, where you're doing something that brings you joy, when you're doing something that makes you happy. Think about this. We build in all of these things. I had another friend that told me, I have a friend of mine, he's so focused on energies and things he does for work and for the community, but he doesn't see us, which brought me back, right? I was like, wow, I see it, because I move. I've had a friend here, high school friend here on the island, been here probably 60 days. I love you, Tammy, by the way. And I move and move and move. And I haven't, not say tried or haven't found the time, but we haven't connected. Moving. How do you build it in? To do things you love, to spend time with people you love, to do those things to make sure that you're bringing joy to yourself. Because these motivational speakers, and back to where I tie this all together, they'll tell you sleep doesn't exist. It's not a thing. Those burnout generation. Remember I told you. Then you got these other guys that are sitting here doing goofy stuff, making millions, make you think that you don't have to really work hard. Come on, man. Who are you following? Because they're not telling you the ingredients in between. You just see little snippets of what they want you to see. Behind the scenes is work. Behind the scenes is effort. Behind the scenes is passion. Behind the scenes is self-care. Behind the scenes is planning. And not just writing it down, but the action steps that it takes. They don't show you that. And I'm going to tell you, from someone who sat out there in that universe for a while before I came back to what I do now, I was asking the question, hey, how do you do this? And people were so protective of the information. Well, how do I see how you got, I see you're at A and now I see Z, but how do you get B through Y? Can you share? Can I get at least a couple of those steps so I can move? Because nobody tells you these things. You know, I had a young man, I ain't even gonna call him young. I had a gentleman who I looked up to, someone who I really wanted to be like when I grew up, right? That told me that they would charge me $55 an hour for mentorship. $55 an hour to talk to me about growth. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but I would do this all day, every day for free. So it broke my heart. And I realized that a lot of people you're listening to and following, it's a business. Their team isn't saying, hey, let's change lives. Their teams are saying, let's make some money with the illusion of changing lives. Nobody tells you this. Be careful who you're following. And then there's circles. A lot of these people feed each other information about how to continue the illusion. It's a business. Let's make it seem like we're taking care of people. But ultimately, really, what we're doing is running a business, taking opportunities to travel. I tell my teammate all the time, we're not paying for anybody to come in here and motivate a crowd. Two things, we're not haters. It's not that we don't feel someone can do it. You can motivate me all day. But are you actually going to give me something I can apply when I walk out? Are you coming because your heart's in the right place or because it's a free vacation and you get to do what you do? So I tell them, we're not paying thousands of dollars to fly somebody in and we can get the same person on Zoom. I'm not being cheap. I'm just saying, because with that money we just spent on this person to run their business, $10,000, $15,000. Let me tell you guys something, $20,000 to fly somebody in, feed, house, clothe them for a week, setting up a stage. Remember the work that goes beyond. They don't come out here and bring the stage with them. So you got to do all the work to set it up, advertise, market. You're running the process for someone else to come in and run their business. So the folks who say, hey, Winston, I will talk to your audience for free. I'll give you, even if it's 30 minutes, it warms my whole heart because I know that person's heart is in the right place. But I pay attention. That's what a lot of people stop doing. We just move out there aimlessly because we don't have that self-awareness. We don't have that understanding of what's going on around us. We don't take the time to reflect and to watch. So I got a chance to experience it, watch it, protect others. But again, that money, that $10, $15, $20, $25,000 we spending to fly someone in, guess what? That's the same money that me and my teammate can use to get other people certified, to get spouses that are sitting at home scholarships, to get other people opportunities to learn, to build, to grow. Because that is something that you can do with the money that you're about to spend to help someone else's business. I learned that the hard way. I support whoever. I will watch, follow, track, take mental notes, and granted, I don't even follow these folks on my own business page because I don't want to get distracted in the business aspect of it. I don't want to see the show. I want to see your heart. I know you can move, but can you be still? It's another quote that I threw out there to the young men and women. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to tell you why I took that personal this week. I said it out loud, but then you have to kind of reset that and reuse that with your own life, right? I never try to put nothing out there to the universe that I'm not practicing myself. I'll say that again. I never put nothing out there into the universe, into the radio verse, into the podcast verse, into the world that I'm not practicing myself. And just like everybody else, I am a work in progress. I am not ever going to sit here and say I'm someone who is the wisest man in the world. I got all the information. No, I'm learning every single day. Growth. Better than yesterday. That is what I tell myself. Growth. Better than yesterday. You can, you are, and you will. Keep fighting. People don't understand what those quotes on the website mean. Why I got the little snippets on positivevibesradioshow.com. While I got the little things, those are messages that I use to push myself. And if it worked for me, motivated me, and helped me get the discipline I need to keep pushing, then I want to share that with others. Not a business. Not a surviving or struggling artist out here trying to make money. Not because I want to sell illusions, but because I have a heart for this. And people are truly my passion. 78.6 FM Yomaton. And the third segment, I definitely want to bring it back. The last segment, bring back, I know you can move, but can you be still? Because it's a really magical meaning to that. And I actually shared this with the young lady I mentioned earlier because it's so important. And I want to use that story to share with you of how it matters in every one of our lives. Please find time for you. Build in time for you. Understand that the importance of taking care of yourself. You can't take care of no one if you're not taking care of yourself. Understand that we need you. There's people that look forward to seeing you every day. We'll be right back after this break. .6 FM Yomaton, Positive Vibes with Winston. We're back. Hey man, I would be remiss, 100%, a total failure as a friend and as a teammate, a brother, if I didn't mention one of my really close friends, fellow coach and sister in this fight to take care of people and to love on others, Stephanie. Steph, congratulations on accomplishing your PCC today. Today you became a professional certified coach under the ICF umbrella. I'm so excited, ecstatic. I woke up to the news. I can't tell you, I'm gonna tell you guys, I woke up feeling like crap today. where I was questioning coming in here or not, because I was like, I feel like crap. I don't know if I can give everybody everything I got. But when I got that news from my friend, it was like a boost, and the boost that I needed to get my butt up and come in here and speak life to my fam and friends. Stephanie, thank you for letting me be a part, just for blessing me to be a part of this journey with you, to share your victories, your wins, and to share this story. I'm so excited for you, and I can't wait to see what you do with it. And you're stuck with me, so wherever you go, I go. Just want you to know that real quick. But no, it has been a blessing, and that is the news that gives me life. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. All right, so anyway, we were talking about, I know you can move, but can you be still? Man, get out of here. What does that mean, Winston? I know you can move, but can you be still? And you guys can Google that quote as well so you can see the source of this in Winston, right? I heard this a long time ago from one of my favorite mentors, Mr. A. It's because I was going like the young man I mentioned in the last one. And I didn't even finish that story. I had to tell him, hey, you really have to make sure you're building in rest for yourself, reflection for yourself, self-reflection, feedback. He had to have this tough conversation. I said, hey, man, you have to have someone that you trust that you can seek feedback from. Build that into your life, not necessarily every week, but that's why I always push the importance of having at least one personal and one professional mentor you can share this journey with. So if you haven't got that, and this is what I told him, if you haven't got that, man, I need you to pause and think about it. Pause and plan it. Pause and put it into your life, put it into your day, put it into your week, whatever you want to do. But you have to find the time to build the time. People don't get it. Let's go back again. You have to find the time to build the time. So for me, I hit my big brother up last night. I said, hey, Mr. G. I said, I always want to tell you, at my birthday party, I don't want anybody worried about me. Those tears were tears of joy. And there's been a lot of things in me as an individual that I have to stop and reflect on. I'm not someone who I would never put something out into the universe. If I'm struggling with something, I'm going to get over that first before I come and try to navigate you through it. I'm not going to fake it. I'm not a fraud. But I had to tell him, I said, this is the things that over the last couple of weeks, right, that I struggle with, but I always take the time to stop. This 4-day weekend right here, 4 days for me to reflect, reset, readjust. I didn't look at it like, woohoo, vacation time, running around, exploring. No, when I leave here, when I go down to Gala, because I told you it's beautiful outside, Gala, Yomatan, when I go out there, I'm going to go to the lighthouse, and I'm going to sit up there for probably an hour. I'm going to call back to the little ones, for the kiddos. My son normally likes to play a game, and that's my time, my bonding time with him. And then sometimes my daughter jumps in. It's so much fun, right? And I'm going to give them their time. I build that in. And then I'm going to come back, eat something, rest. I'm going to tell you, people don't see this a lot of times, right? It sounds good. If you're looking on YouTube or watching, or if I cut this snippet out, it's a little black book. You normally see it go with me. Very protective of this thing, because this is what I use to build these things in. When I woke up today, making sure I discuss certain things. Don't forget this, because I'm not scripted, but I always want to write things down for me. Where are you going to go when you go to Gala? I can say Gala all day, but I already know I'm going to eat at a Tobby's. I'm going to get me a little scooter. I'm going to go sit at the cafe that's right there near in Gala. If you guys, I'm not advertising, I'm just showing some love. I'm going to go to the lighthouse, and I'm going to come back. This is my day for me. And then tomorrow, and then Sunday or Monday, and then Tuesday. I got 4 different days that I can try to reset, readjust, refocus. But leading up to this break, move, go, rest in here, in this book. Because I know I built this movement in. I know what's coming. I know what I see for myself. I know what I see for my friends. I know what I'm trying to build. So I don't lie to myself. There's going to be some things that I'm not going to agree with. Not just with my own personal decisions, but the decisions of others. But I keep moving. Sometimes I have to take that L because I know what comes after it. Mental prep. right? For me. I know it's gonna feel like trash, but I gotta do this. I know I'm not gonna like the way this goes for a minute, but I know what's on the other end of it. We just went to Iwo last week and give you a perfect example. I hate the climb. Hey, this is like in life, right? You can use it as an example. I hate the climb up the mountain. And not the views. The views are amazing going up Iwo. The views, you can stop any point, once you get halfway up and look back, and it's like something somebody created in a book or drew with crayons. It's beautiful. Iwo, Mount Katsu. Hey, hold up, not Mount Katsu, hold up. Let me get that right. I'm going to get that to you guys in a second because I'm getting my mountains mixed up. But Iwo, the mountain in the middle of the peak, when I go up halfway up and I'm sitting there and I look back and it looks like somebody drew it with crayons, I'm like, wow, I'm amazed. I am in awe. I can sit here all day at this point and just look. But you don't. You keep walking. And when you get to the top of that mountain, when you get to Gasuku, forgive me, guys, Mount Gasuku, Gusuku. When you get to the top of Mount Gasuku and you look back, it's even more beautiful. But what you miss, the views you see in my pictures, right? The panoramic, the videos that you see, the smiles you see on my face. It wasn't just I automatically got there to the mountain and I just jumped on the top. I had to take all those steps. Sorry, I get excited. I had to take all of those steps to get up there. Your calves hurt. I'm old. My knees hurt, right? I skip leg days sometimes. So my thighs hurt. Hips, back. I had a friend that we took with us that's frightened of heights. That's a whole nother story, and I love you, Joe, for going. But we went up there, and just to climb to get to the peak, it's not fun, but we know it's at the top. It's not something that you draw in that you want to plan for, but you know it exists. So you have to plan for it. You have to add it to your plan. This part might suck, but I know it's at the top. This part's not going to be fun, but I know what I'm going to have when I'm finished with it. This part might hurt my chest a little bit. This part might be challenging. This part might be something I don't want, but I know what comes with it. I know what the reward is. We talk about these conflicts people have with making decisions because of the part that sucks. But we also talk about the people who get to the other end and they can help others navigate through that part that sucks. Story with my friend going up scared of heights. You got somebody that goes up ahead of us and is cheering us on. Percy, love you, a.k.a. Kirby. I love you, cheering us on. Hey, guys, you got this. Come on. Hey, you're almost there. We're not, but he's saying it. We're almost there. Come on, just a few more steps. Let's get it. My friend scared of heights, can't look back, can't look down, holding on to that rope for dear life as we climb up the stairs. And I'm in the back rolling because I hadn't seen that side of him, right? I didn't tell you the whole story. So I'm in the back, I'm rolling. I'm still positive, but tears in my eyes, chest. I needed that for my soul when we're going up and I'm seeing my dude struggling with that rope. I'm like, I got you, bro. I'm behind you. And I went behind him for a reason because he said it right before we went up. Hey, man, I'm frightened of heights. Right before we get on this mountain, that looks steep, right? So I'm like, I got to go behind him because he's going to try to go and leave and not go up here with us. But I'm going to tell you what he did. He made it to the top. It was scary. He didn't want to. He had support. He had love. And there was somebody rooting for him at the top. Let me tell you something. If you don't have that in your life, you're climbing any mountain, you're going through any challenge, any obstacles, find someone who's there that's willing to help you get to the top of that journey. Help you get through the challenges. Because you're not going to be able to do everything alone. A lot of us got to get over ourselves. Get out of our own ego. Find that person that's going to help you get to where you're trying to go. Someone you can trust. What? Someone you can trust to make sure that you're accountable, holding yourself accountable, and they're keeping you accountable for this journey. That's a word that's so undervalued and so misunderstood. Trust. If I close my eyes right now and I fall back, that person's going to catch me. If I go up this mountain and I'm struggling, is that person going to be with me? Is that person going to encourage me, hold me accountable when I'm not holding myself accountable? It's going to tell me that you can do this when I'm doubting myself. Who is that person for you? And like I always tell you, if you don't have someone, at least one personal and one professional person in your life, please seek them out. It's going to take you getting over yourself, getting your ego out the way. A lot of people don't want to let others in because of what we may have experienced in the past. That didn't work out too well last time I included somebody on this journey. That didn't work out so well last time I let somebody in. But when you let the right one in, it can change your life forever. I say that to you because I wouldn't be talking to you right now if I didn't have those right people in my life to encourage, motivate, educate, and inspire me. And guess what my mantra is now? To encourage, motivate, educate, and inspire others. You can't make this stuff up. My journey doesn't mean anything if I'm not helping somebody else grow. My journey doesn't mean anything if I'm not able to help someone else navigate through challenge. And my journey story doesn't mean nothing if I didn't make it count. 78.6 FM Yomaton, positive vibes of Winsome to the 14,000 listeners. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. What does that mean? You say this, Winsome, every time. You say this on your website. I hear you say this when you're teaching. What does that mean? That means that no matter where you are in the world, what you're doing, how you're doing it, if you need a voice, if you need some encouragement, if you need to know that somebody cares, I don't need to know you to love you. I've learned that from some of the folks who I follow who are the greatest leaders I've ever read about, watched, and been encouraged and inspired by. And I'll tell you, there's something I've learned. If you pick up and call me, you took the time to do that, it matters. If you text me, you took the time to do that, it matters to me. If you walk through my door here at my office, I stop time for you because it matters. And I'm going to give you everything I got. So no matter where you are in the world, if you feel like the world is against you, if you feel like nobody believes in you, if you feel like you just can't break through, let me tell you, I love you, and you can. You got this. You are good enough. You are strong enough. You are smart enough. You've already survived your worst days. There's nothing that you can't be, do, or have. I can't wait to see what you do next, and I can't wait to hear about your journey. So I say it again, 78.6 FM Yomaton, positive vibes of Winsome. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. See you next week.
音楽の途中ですが、ここでお知らせがございます。スポンサー株式会社眼中よりお知らせです。読谷村戸口ビーチにある沖縄ポークビレッジは、紅豚をふんだんに使ったお食事をご用意。店内には直売所があり、厳選された加工品や新鮮な精肉を販売いたしております。レストランの横には公園もあり、お子さんも大満足。気になるあなたはぜひ沖縄ポークビレッジへ。午前11時から営業スタート。お問い合わせは電話番号 098-982-8877 098-982-8877 まで。以上、スポンサー株式会社眼中よりお知らせでした。続きまして、読谷村より村民の皆様へお知らせです。沖縄県においては、インフルエンザと新型コロナウイルスの同時流行が続いています。日頃から感染対策を心がけ、密集、密接、密閉を回避するようお願いいたします。また、感染に備え、家庭には少なくとも3日分の食料と医療用の抗原検査キット、解熱剤等の医薬品を常備しましょう。発熱、喉の痛み、咳、鼻水など少しでも症状がある場合、通勤や通学、外出、会食を控えてください。検査や受診先を相談したい場合は、沖縄県発熱コールセンターへご相談ください。電話番号は 098-866-2129。繰り返します。098-866-2129 です。沖縄県発熱コールセンターは毎日24時間対応しています。感染の広がりを防ぐため、大人数、長時間の会食や集まりをできるだけ避けるようお願いいたします。感染流行の規模が大きくなるにつれて、救急や発熱外来の患者が増加するなど、医療の逼迫が生じる恐れもあります。引き続き皆様の感染対策へのご協力をお願いいたします。以上、読谷村よりお知らせでした。それでは最後に、迷い犬保護のお知らせです。2月15日、読谷村の波浦付近にて、ワンちゃんが保護されました。犬種は雑種、性別はメスの中型犬です。毛の色は白で赤い首輪をしており、耳は少し垂れています。また、目の周りに皮膚病があるようです。現在は読谷村役場にて保護されています。飼い主さんのお迎えがない場合、動物愛護センターへ移送され、殺処分の対象となります。お心当たりのある方は、FM 読谷 098-958-7860 または読谷村役場生活環境課 098-982-9214 までお願いいたします。犬を飼ったら、まずは役場へ登録をお願いいたします。以上、迷い犬保護のお知らせでした。それでは引き続き音楽をお届けいたします。